All right. Now that we have that settled, welcome y'all. Blissful new moon. Well, the moon right now is in Scorpio. So we're going to check into the vibes for the collective. It's a lot of electricity flowing through. There's also this energy of the embodiment of what you feel is your purpose and it going through the fire to be purified. 22233 showing up on the screen already. This is a new moon in Libra message, but with us now being in the essence of the moon in Scorpio and Scorpio season, that's more of the energy that this is picking up on as well. You can view this as the mist before the dawn, literally the mist before the dawn. But that mist is more of a, I don't want to say a longer process, because not that it's a longer process in the sense of waiting for something, but more so going on the journey from one point to the next. Okay, welcome. So the collective will no longer be able to half-ass or play it small, because there's a lot of asteroid-wise. You have Black Moon Lilith that plays a major role in this new moon in Libra. New moon in Virgo could also be significant because I almost said Virgo. Some of you could have Black Moon Lilith in Virgo. And a big part of this is now you must, there's no running from it. Now you must integrate the shadow and not misuse your power. Not misusing your power also means that when it's time for you to take a certain, yo, okay. That joint just went right up on out of there. See, that's what I'm saying. There's this, I mean, we're in the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde, but it's deeper than that. It's because it's in Scorpio too, along with Mars being in there. This level of connection the collective is having with the divine feminine, more so the dark divine feminine, is coming through as Kali, Sekhmet, you know, Lilith, all of them, all of that is just playing a major role right now. Even when it comes to the new moon in Libra, when it comes to establishing or planting new seeds in matters of relationships, these relationships are going to carry the dynamic where you are not hiding not even an ounce of yourself. You know, the way that, you know, certain relationships are built is not so much on each party being themselves fully. If you notice that you are wanting to embark on a journey with a particular person or group and you don't see that it's manifesting, it's because of that. It's not in alignment to each party's soul. So that way, in this age of Aquarius, of longevity, you know, connections that you have for the long term, these type of relationships that are not in alignment to the depths and the rawness of your soul are not going to come forward. So be more than okay with you recognizing why something has yet to take place, because your manifestations with this level of embodiment should be much faster. Okay? So moving forward is going to require the integration of your shadow. It's going to require the acceptance of the wound that your soul has been carrying for eons, ages, generations, whatever the case may be. Okay? So, one of the things that's also happening is that Neptune retrograde is going back into Pisces. So things could get quite misty and foggy. But that's where you want to, that's what you want to go towards. Where there may be some level of, now, okay, this is where you utilize distortion to transcend in your reality. This is where you utilize confusion to evolve. And this is also why it's important to integrate parts of you that you may have been hiding, because the version of you that you're hiding to fit in amongst a person or a group of people, that version of you carries all of the answers that you're seeking. You may have been seeking out answers outside of you. Every answer that you seek is within you, but it's going to require the version of you that doesn't dims its own light just to fit in or just to be liked. You want to be loved, not even want to be. You desire love, and some of you may have been wanting to be liked. And that whole, you know, dynamic can go on for generations. You know what I'm saying? So, miracles, I isn't. Live out loud. Live out loud. These three messages are literally just confirming everything that was just said, but we're about to get deeper into it. Live out loud, shine in alchemy. 31, 32, 38. That's 11 right there. The 1111s or 111s that are showing up to each and every one of you is telling you it's time for you to align yourself with your North Node. Utilize the habits. Yo, utilize the habits from a past life, what is easy for you to do. Don't make it your entire life, but utilize what is necessary for you to step into your purpose, which is your North Node. The way this is cutting off is hilarious to me, because I know exactly. I'm gonna keep that to myself. Okay. Live out loud, shine in alchemy. Ah, shit. What is that? The gamer ghost? That's hilarious. Oh shit. Give me a moment. The mirror is no longer reflecting. The mirror is absorbing. I'm seeing someone who recently had a very moving conversation with their higher self, source, their ancestors. Plenty of tears, healing, and that has been absorbed. Whatever was getting in the way has been absorbed. The moment you even just presented yourself in that energy of surrender. This is someone who has been over this on this channel for quite a bit, where that scarcity or victim mentality, that's not the way we move here. It's more so of seeing each experience, no matter how grave it may be, as a tool. Where it doesn't use you, you use it. And that level of conversation or consultation that one had with what they connect to as a higher power, it was a prime example of a head nod. The head nod of, okay, I see exactly what this is for. See exactly what this is for. And those tears that were pouring through, or just that high frequency, that energy that was just rising in that conversation or that communion, that was part of what was being absorbed, in the sense it was going through a purification cycle in order for the integration to go through its final phase, which now means this vessel, this soul, has increased in their abilities or their supernatural abilities, or their clairs have become stronger, specifically the one of knowing, claircognizance. There was also a flip of the switch of one's telepathy, because this particular energy is ready for the truth. They released the need to be helped in a way that it was connected to being the victim. A significant relationship, a lover, may have been that final piece for this next phase of the evolution process. Okay. This is where soul contracts around ego-driven missions begin to dissolve. And there's absolutely not a thing one can do about that. Reason being, especially the main reason being, one is ready to step fully into purpose. For each and every one of you, once again, that is your North Node. Tools that you can utilize in your mastery of that, look at your Saturn. Let me see something here in regards to Neptune as well. One second. Excuse me. Okay, so this is one of those messages, those lives that when I go up into that gaze or not saying anything, we're shifting energy there, okay? Removing any residue to be able to see clearer through the fog. Neptune is putting the collective in a position to notice that not every soul contract is meant to last. some mirrors are for your awakening. So that way you can enhance your discernment, because that will be your spiritual protection. When you have that discernment, you can trust your intuition. This is also not the space to be begging and spamming and saying the same things over and over and over again, because that is indicating you have stepped into a portal you are not actually ready for. So respect the space or you will be removed. You will also have to be removed. Let me look through the chat real quick, y'all. Hold on. Okay. If there's a connection that feels addictive, in a sense, confusing, or too great to question, that's Neptune's fog. In that sense, just sit in silence and ask yourself, what are you truly feeling about this bond, and where do you feel this in your body? How does this bond truly feel in the body without their voice, their face, or their energy? And pay attention to the sensations. If you feel light, that's resonance. If you feel tightness, confusion, or craving, that's an illusion, entanglement, or a lesson. And this is also why that block button is being utilized within this chat right now, because some of you are playing in certain energies and not truly understanding the spaces that you step into and what's truly happening. But to understand that, you would have to understand your own truth, have a connection to the soul, and I can tell when one is disconnected. Not to this space, more so to themselves. So yes. If there's any relationship with this new moon in Libra and with Pluto direct, if there's any relationship that is rooted in performance, hierarchy, or subtle control, Pluto's gonna crack that wide open. Now, there are new collective power structures that are being built where relationship dynamics are part of a bigger system, not just personal stories. So once again, if there are relationships that you are connected to, one-on-one or groups, rooted in performance, hierarchy, or subtle control, Pluto will crack that wide open. The actions you each would want to or desire, advise to take is ask, where are you giving your power away to belong? The same way the three kings follow the stars to connect to the divine one. You'll be sent to your maker. Ask yourself also, what will remain if titles, statuses, or the group dissolved? It's time to reconnect to the soul's spine. Reconnect and be rooted to one's non-negotiables, which is a topic that we speak on quite a bit here. Non-negotiable boundaries. What are your boundaries? And what does non-negotiable mean to you? And truly look deeper into that. If you want to thrive in this energy that is not going to be letting up, for some, in practical sense of the energy, the new normal, be very aware of yourself so that way you can answer these questions for yourself truly. What are your boundaries? And what does non-negotiable mean to you? Because some of you have boundaries that you consider non-negotiable, but you have loved ones that overstep that. Therefore, it's no longer non-negotiable. You've overstepped your own boundary. This is where some of you taking the leap of faith can start. See where it is that you are saying yes when you truly desire to say no, without explaining yourself. You can truly go deeper into that when you recognize, why is it that you say no and take it back, or why is it that you say yes when you truly desire to say no? Where is that coming from? Most of that answer would be, you don't want a certain person to feel a certain way. Do you truly know what they feel? No. You can only feel yourself. In that instance. Especially when it comes to what is being said to another and the way that message or the vibration and rhythm from words, or someone looking at someone's actions, only them that is seeing and hearing can feel what it is that they are feeling. It's not about not caring to, and it to becoming arrogant. It's being mindful as to what it is that you care about and the way that you are putting yourself aside. Hey, Maida, what up, Prima? Okay, so. With Jupiter in Cancer right now, there is still this ancestral expansion where your origin stories, family, ancestry, and early bonds influence the way you partner up with others today. If safety was conditional for you growing up, you may unconsciously repeat those patterns. So this is the moment for you to expand your definition of safety. Don't just replicate what you were programmed to view as safety. And again, safety for each and every one of you. You can see that within your moon and your Saturn. Second house too in matters of material things, but also because it is the house of Taurus, this also speaks to the wisdom of your body. What is it that is happening in that house for you that it invokes a higher level of wisdom within your body that resonates with you so much so that you can respond to it without doubt. So what you can do here with this Jupiter energy, name one ancestral pattern in love, family, or alliance you're ready to transcend. An affirmation you can express is, I honor the line I came from, but I choose to build differently. And thereafter, do something nurturing for your own inner child. Warm bath, quiet tea, walking barefoot, placing your hand on your heart, watching your favorite cartoon, giggling as if you were a 4-year-old just because you can. Because in order for you to experience true expansion, it's about you becoming freer in your roots. Okay? Now, Chiron. Chiron and Eris is asking you, where do you shrink yourself to stay in harmony? Eris is where your soul refuses to stay silent anymore. And Chiron is where you feel most the energy of sacrificing the self to be loved. Both of these are in Aries. So when it comes to yourself and identity, yeah, this thing here is punching at the collective. I promise you that. And it's in a square to Jupiter. So it's in a, in a bout with, where is it that you hold stories, or what are those stories that influence the way you partner up with others today? Where do you sacrifice yourself to be loved? Because this is also the same area where your soul is refusing to stay silent anymore. If we're looking at this from a practical sense, some of you are seeing a lot from your peripherals right now. If we're looking at this from a practical sense, you may find that upon rising, let's say you have a 9-to-5 and you've been wondering, should you continue or should you embark on your entrepreneur journey? This type of energy, because your soul is so involved and the dark divine feminine is at the forefront, letting you know that you can't just be out here once again dimming your light and just doing things because it's your comfort zone. You're no longer able to be in that comfort zone. So the way that looks in this practical realm is that you wake up one day and you just quit. You just quit. Now, I'm not even gonna say quit. You release that. You make that phone call. I ain't coming in today, and this is the last time you ever gonna hear from me because I ain't coming back. Because if you're here, you're obviously someone who is here to do great things. Great, not good, great. which is going to require the rawest version of you, the light, dark, and the shadow. So whatever emotions come up, allow it to, because this is your power returning to its rightful owner. That feeling of being anxious. Some of you may even be feeling as though you're out of your body from time to time. That's again because your soul is no longer allowing you to shrink yourself to stay in harmony. It's only allowing you to be in spaces or experiences where your fire is able to flame at its highest intensity. Being a torch, not a candle. No shade to the candles. There's so much going on astrologically that has to do with you were made for so much more. So much more. Some of you is going to express itself as depression, anxiety, indecisiveness. That's the fog you have to walk through. Shit, for some of you, sprint through, because your ass might have been up in that fog a little too long, if you ask me. Hold on, my loves. This is obviously an energy not to be rushed at this moment. Because it truly feels as though I'm walking you through this right now. Because it feels as though some of you really don't truly see or have some sort of fear when it comes to how grand of a vessel you are in this lifetime, on this planet, during this age, in this timeline, within your bloodline, your current family, where you work right now. "30, 33, 33 thumbs. Ashe. 19 of you. Sun. Can tell where you've been dimming your light. No more of that. It's time to start releasing those cords of any connection or commitment that doesn't support your fire. Stop burning out to keep others warm. I don't worship a thing. It's more than okay to see that there were certain relationships that were just stepping stones. And this specific new moon in Libra is asking you, where do you have to pull your fire back home? Before you can truly see the meaning of your purpose, your life, your existence, your living, I see Sagittarius season. Now you have to see, go through that checklist, go through those contracts, Libra season, because Scorpio season, this is when the purifications and endings happen, the endings for the purification, the endings for rebirth. And I'll tell you now, for those who take a level of awareness for granted, dogs just started going off. You'll literally be forced to balance out the energy of your heart. Gratitude. It's okay to be devoted to yourself, because that just speaks to sovereign alignment. Devotion is not sacrifice. Brazen. Be bold. Not this one. What is this energy? I'm laughing right now because the conversation I just had with self in regards to the energy that I'm picking up. Granted, when you have it on participant mode to anyone, you got the ignorant and the highest of the high that pop up. There was something about the energy that I said exactly what's shown here. Archangel Uriel is the only one that was sent to the abyss. And the conversation with I and Uriel was that itself. You're not just getting blocked. I'm the right one to see your name because it gives me the information of the soul, the spirit, similar to an IP address. Taking that journey right on into the abyss. Some will send them to hell. I'm going to send you to the abyss. Listen. So quit your job. You asking? Here's what I would say. Because this can go different ways. Where you take one step that reflects what you will be and are doing as to why you even first and foremost have that urge to want to step outside your comfort zone. Take one step towards that, then take another. So let's say, for instance, this has to do with, booking clientele and things of that nature. This would be putting out an announcement, at least, that you are open, to taking on clients. It's just an example. And as you do that, let's say you're still at your job, see where your focus is when you're at your job and when you're doing what it is that you desire to do. Because if you're at your job and you feel as though you're wasting your time, it's time to speed up the energy when it comes to your desire, especially if this is something that you have already, been putting in the work for that to be your main focus. Because there'll come to a point where, let's say, you give yourself a deadline when it comes to, okay, this day I'm gonna turn in the 2 weeks notice. And you notice that as you're getting closer to that, you're still in the comfort zone of not fully stepping outside of it. This will cause you to remain there. And it's also going to add to the discomfort of the change that your soul is already influencing you towards, of leaving that job. The main thing is you want to make sure that everything you do reflects the best and greatest version of you. Nothing that you're doing and anyone that you are around should be wasting your time. Because for some, that change is so past due that the body is now starting to feel the pressures of staying somewhere, being somewhere that no longer serves you. Collective doesn't want to keep feeding, you know what I'm saying, these systems that build off of that are not truly healthcare. They set up a certain dynamic within the corporate world or in the working field that may burden an employee, and now that burden fills the pockets of another system, continuously doing so because it's not actually helping the situation. In fact, it's just making it worse. And then more stress is applied within that corporate world or in that work field. Don't get it twisted now. Some people love what they do and they 9 to 5 and they corporate. But when you get to that level of you realizing what this rat race is, and you don't want to be running no more, the shit begins to click quite quickly. So marinate on that. Does it actually fulfill you? And every step that you take moving forward, allow it to reflect the version of you that all is taken care of. All you have to do is take the steps of what you can control to live that blissful lifestyle that most of these 9 to 5s won't be able to give you. Really living the life of one who has freedom. It doesn't mean, obviously be lazy. Nah. It just means now what you're doing, what you would get in 14 lucid moments, aka days or 2 weeks or whatever, you seeing that in a day or two. And that's where true prosperity comes from, when you're doing what you love. Because when you do what you love, Now the collective that's in alignment to that energy aligns with you. And this is the main part of this, new moon in Libra, and with the dark feminine energies and goddesses that are surrounding this. Sophia with giving you the wisdom to make the proper decision. Your time is your most valuable thing. Yeah, for sure. Because it's what you make. It's an illusion because it's an art and it's what you make time for. So that's, another part of it. Really looking into what is one really choosing to make time for? And is that time being reciprocated? Yes, inspired action. Ashe. There you go. And there goes the ancestors, source speaking. That when you utilize your energy wisely, love begins. You can have this every rising and every sunset, even in the midst of challenges. Because it's one thing to experience a challenge doing something you can't stand, and going through a challenge when you're doing what you love. That challenge is more so, the analogy of the gym. It might be heavier, but it's creating more strength within your body. Physically, winning too. Appearance-wise, mentally, emotionally. When you're doing things that you don't love to do, and a challenge comes, that's basically karma. Dharma is you living in your purpose. You'll still experience challenges, but because you're doing what you love, you won't even see it so much as a challenge in that sense, where it's, possibly putting you in the range of being conflicted or defeated. Ooh, well. So, taking a leap of faith when it comes to your purpose and what you do on a daily, what allows you to be in the essence of having balance within yourself, mentally, intuitively, it opens up major doors of love here for some of you. Not some of you, the collective. 133. It's part of divine guidance that surrounds you now. So 133, 1033, 7. Picking up strongly on Aries rising with this new moon in Libra being in your 7th house, where you have partnerships that are literally for you, Aries. Your relationships are reflecting back to you. The mirror in your life right now is your relationship specifically. Behind this, we have attachment. Yeah. So with the moon and Libra card, literally everything that we were just saying, conflict and defeat, mental conflict, patience, planning, attachment. See, there's an attachment that's causing mental conflict, or this energy of feeling defeated, for someone who already has the wisdom of the steps to take towards your new beginning. You sacrifice more than enough. It's time to release yourself from whatever this bondage or this idea that it's an idea of doing something that you're doing right now that is it turns you off completely. it's more than okay to commit to yourself. Some of you could be seeing fives a lot. 555, 55, 155, 515. You got fives all over this. The lessons of embodying a much deeper heavenly truth with the Hierophant here. The wisdom of your body. Taurus, second house. This is something as simple as no longer making decisions that reflect you self-sabotaging yourself just to be amongst energy and people that really doesn't suit you. Look at this, moving on, walking away. You've been patient in terms of making a decision whether to walk away and walking away. 1010, completion of a cycle. Yeah, since 1010, since that portal, that portal has strongly activated the moment for you to go towards your prosperity that you have your hands on already. Just got to get out of this energy of feeling trapped. Self-sabotage. Where's that coming from? That feeling of being trapped. Moon in Aquarius. Deceiving yourself about what you feel you can hold on to for the long term. You've done this already. Now it's time for you to be cautious. Not overly cautious to the point you don't make a move. Hidden, yeah. Put something to rest here so you rest and rejuvenate. That's another thing too. Let's say if you have a 9-to-5, but you also want to do the entrepreneurship, become that entrepreneur. Not even become, you are the entrepreneur, but there's still this connection, attachment to this other part of the matrix. It's 11 again. What was it? Bring it back. You've done this before. The situation has been prolonged. Rest. What's prolonging a decision? Whatever, okay, back to the example of the 9-to-5. That 9-to-5 is taking too much of your energy that you're not even able to do or work on your business the way you may have planned to do so, with working on both until you feel comfortable enough to take that leap of faith. But what's happening is that energy is a form of temptation where it's keeping you there and you don't even have enough energy to work on your business. Especially if you are at a point, it's not even so much if. The way this energy is set up, this is where the collective is at. There's no more room for doing the mediocre, lukewarm type shit. You know, so look at that. You got the justice that's peeping through here, Libra energy with the high priestess behind the 4 of swords of rest and rejuvenation. Yes, see, energy is so draining. If you are, there's something you're doing 9 to 5 and it's draining you, 55, 35. 35 in this deck is Archangel Michael. You can call on your ancestors, your angels, but it's time to really focus on your soul's plan. 55, 55. Yeah. I'll have about 5 bookings available. You'll see it when I post it. Between now and Friday, I'll put up the information as to how to book your session with me. Because we have to look deeper into your charts for real. You know what I'm saying? To give you the blueprint, the cards that were dealt, and the way you play your hand. So you win every time. Temperance. Okay. So you can get more in depth with your own alchemical signature. There we go. Ace of Cups again. Okay. Your next step, you know what this message is for. Your next step, bring harmony into your life by making a decision, the Lovers. And the Moon. Notice the waves, the shifts in your emotions when it comes to you making a bold move and when it comes to you being comfortable. Because for some of it, with you being comfortable, you're able to sort of take an inhale and exhale. However, it immediately creates this level of dysfunction within yourself where you're unhappy or unfulfilled. That's a false sense of comfort. It's not about living a life of discomfort, but this thing about doing something that is comfortable, it's actually unfulfilling. So taking note of what your body is saying in all that you do, because there's something that you have a specific devotion to, or it's your duty in this lifetime, that is going to bring you more than you can even imagine when it comes to a lifestyle that is secure, stable, rooted, grounded, filled with unconditional love, you know. Yeah. This is the Five of Pentacles. Financial, material changes. Okay. All right. Let's see. Now, it's your life. You make the decisions you are to make and what's best for you. But I'm going to give you the message from Source in regards to a decision. Especially for some of you when it comes to it, because that seems to be quite a strong energy amongst the collective, I would say. Or anything that has you feeling unfulfilled. For some of you, you're doing something that is fulfilling. You're already doing what fulfills you, but you could be wondering what's next. You may have to tweak the strategy where you're doing less while achieving more. There could be a certain platform where you could be setting up, whether if it's a class or workshop, or you may, it's okay. This would be, you could be someone that people usually goes to for clarity of some sort. You make things easier for people, but you don't want to overwork yourself as to the way people are connecting with you to make it easier for them. Or the tools that you have that can make their life easier based on the resources that they have that may be causing a burden in their life. So this could be you utilizing some sort of software that allows you to place your content on it, and whomever is intrigued by what it is that you have to offer, they can take your class without you actually being there, because it's something that's already recorded and you can update it as often as you want to, desire to, okay? Somebody, this could be creating a website. Look at this. We got patience and planning as a challenge. Yo, talk to him, source. The plan was to do two things, you know, so that way when you take that leap of faith, you feel more than ready because you have something to stand on. However, that foundation, or what was, you know, what one was standing on, has never been stable or sturdy enough to hold you, which also distracted you off your actual path because you were constantly being overworked. And this other situation that you were creating, what's that saying? A safety blanket in a sense. But that safety blanket was more unsecured than safe. At least up until this point. Because this is an energy where one may have gotten a little too comfortable in doing this 9 to 5 and working on their business, that they completely put their own business to the back burner. And now that nudge to take that leap of faith has gotten stronger, but the focus was more so on a 9 to 5 that really took away one's energy, so much so you weren't really able to propel yourself forward when it comes to the moment where you are intuitive being nudged to take that leap of faith now. However, this is where the soul comes in, because that whole process was the way of the ego. So now the soul has that solid foundation already ready to take flight. All you got to do is say yes to yourself. And when you say yes to yourself, it should feel just as sure as you are comfortable in this 9 to 5 that you know is draining you. However, this sole purpose and this mission is not going to drain you, but when you say yes to it fully, when it comes to whether you should leave a job, that's going to be an easy answer of yes, because it's time to shift. And there he goes. 5535, we mentioned earlier, Archangel Michael. Cutting it at the root. So with that being said, let me look over Neptune again. Where is this fog happening? For Aries, the fire meets the mirror. For Aries, your power is no longer personal, it's collective. What you do ripples. Your wounds are loud because they are attempting to set you free. What you used to enjoy, what used to feel as though it was weakness is your new edge. The Libra new moon in your 7th house, Aries, is causing relationships to be mirrors now. Every bond reflects your next initiation. And Neptune's veil is assisting through the fog the release of romanticized versions of connection. Clarity is medicine for you right now, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising. You're being asked to stand in your own power without apology. This may disrupt false harmony. Let it. That's Lilith and Medusa vibes talking right there. Build your emotional sanctuary first, Aries. Everything else flows from there. If it does not honor your fire, let it burn away. You don't require or need permission to take up space in your own life, Aries. Love is not meant to shrink you. This new moon in Libra for Taurus, sacred foundations. The old foundations are being restructured, so you must lead differently, Taurus. This new moon in Libra is in your 6th house. Especially if you are a Taurus sun, this is where the work energy is. As far as the new moon, it has this in the 6th house for Taurus. Daily rhythms, health, and devotion patterns want rebalancing, desire rebalancing. Relationships with work and the body evolve. Neptune, through the fog, is assisting with distinguishing collective dreams from your own vision. Don't sacrifice your values for belonging, Taurus. Old subconscious wounds will be whispering loudly. Notice the inner critic, not just the external voices. Boundaries around energy, labor, and sensuality must become sacred, not negotiable. Tending your inner temple brings power. Clean routines will provide you with a clear channel, Taurus. Words spoken gently can build new bridges. The voice is the wand for you right now, Taurus. You are the keeper of the gardens. Prune what drains the roots, and your harvest will double. Gemini, the voice of truth. New moon in Libra in the 5th house. Pluto will be bringing in a deep transformation in your belief systems. Your narrative expands beyond old boxes. This new moon in the 5th house of love, creativity, and joy. It's rewriting these areas of your life of love, creativity, and joy. You are remembering to create without performance, Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising. Neptune's fog is assisting you with your dreams to be, or you connecting to your dreams as a powerful tool, but it's going to require a clear intent. As fantasies can anchor reality in your, if you ground them, though. Fantasies can anchor reality if you ground them. Friendships and networks highlight what feels fake versus real. Protect your authentic expression, Gemini. Do not dilute your message to fit in. Is there anyone that's a Gemini, Sun, Moon, Venus in here? Any of you that's a Gemini, Sun, Moon, Venus, Mars, or have Gemini placements? And if so, where? Your craft, your art, your voice, this is your offering. Tend it with devotion. As wisdom comes through your words you didn't know you had. So if you're someone who's into music, Gemini, get to the booth, do what you gotta do. Your message, Gemini, for this new moon in Libra: when you speak what is true, the universe rearranges itself to echo your voice. It's deep. For some of you, if you encounter a Gemini, it's because they manifested you with the new moon in their 5th house right now. Cancer, bloodline and boundary. With Jupiter in your sign as well, Cancer, blessings flow when you claim your emotional power. You are the earth. The square to Pluto. When it comes to dynamics of home, family, and legacy, they are shifting. And some ancestral vows dissolve now. It's a big one, Cancer. Sun, moon, rising. Moon, sun. New moon in Libra in the 4th house. Your emotional foundations, family structures, and inner temple are recalibrating. Intuition is flooding in. But distinguish inner knowing from escapism. That's Neptune. So Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus placements, you're going to be feeling quite a bit. And there could be certain things that you do to escape. You're going to have to fight through that. And allow the information that's flowing through your intuition to flow through. Okay? All right. Well, there's that. When it comes to career and public calling, tensions may surface. Don't shrink your mission for comfort. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising. You have to be real bold. That's why you really want to refrain from when you start feeling certain things. If you're someone who usually drinks or smokes, go work out, dance. Channel the energy differently. Because emotions could be certainly running a bit high for the water signs in general. Lilith is showing you the power in the shadows. So claiming taboo truths about family safety or what home means is going to be another tool, which can also cause quite an intensity within one's emotions. Medusa is asking you to protect your sacred space as it is not meant for everyone. So some of you may have to say no when it comes to your sacred space or what you consider your sacred space, especially with this energy showing up in your 4th house of family structures. May have to do with the family member here. Old roles as far as being a caretaker, a martyr, or protector can actually end with grace. So it'll be more so an ending that is understanding on both sides. You may not even have to say no. especially if you are allowing your intuition to flood in with the proper information for you. And it becomes proper when you're not doing anything to escape how much you're feeling. Know that your softness is not a weakness, Cancer. It is a force of creation. Build walls of sovereignty, not cages. Boundaries protect, walls hurt. Shout out to Brandon Marshall from I Am Athlete. I love that quote when he said it. Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, the Lion's Oath. With Pluto in Aquarius, partnerships are your forge. The mirror is sharp but honest, Leo. This new moon in Libra is in your third house, which means that your words, thinking, and connections are being rewritten as far as contracts of the mind and speech. Neptune is going to create a fog, but it's also going to help you when it comes to unspoken agreements that come into focus. So it could be a situation that you may be wondering, okay, what's really going on here? It's going to come into focus. Allow your intuition to sharpen your discernment. Something could be falling apart because of your philosophical or spiritual clashes that is actually asking you to stand your ground in what you know. Your intuition is sharpening your discernment in the sense that you follow the intuition. So now more is being shown to you through the application of your discernment. So you can look at it as there's reciprocity between your intuition and what it is that you are discerning, which is why there's more information coming to your reality right now, especially when it comes to agreements that have been unspoken. Shadow truths about your public image rise, Leo. Integrating these shadow truths is going to bring power, not shame. So for you, Leo, this has to do with you creating, expressing yourself based on your philosophical and spiritual truths. Your roar, basically, Leo, it must not be tamed in order to maintain appearances. So the way this is coming through is, let's say you have a way of expressing your own philosophy and spiritual truth, but you also want to step into some sort of industry as far as music, let's say modeling or whatever the case may be, that requires you to possibly be a certain way. Do not take any agreement or opportunity that stops you from being the rawest version of yourself. Something as simple as, okay, you're someone who is quite expressive and you may use profanity when you express yourself. But then you find yourself wanting to change that because you want to appear a certain way to get in that. Nah. Because that will turn into a situation of you now building up on the true version of you. And then there's a moment where you possibly, express yourself and whoever it is that you have an agreement with feels uncomfortable. And this is where the whole shit up, but I never knew you this way. They did. That's why from the very beginning, be the truth of who you are. Whoever decides that this is what it is that they desire to be around, cool. If they want to be around you, question that. Because a want and a desire is different. So sacred communication now becomes your altar, Leo. So when you speak your truth, the crown becomes real. Your voice is not decoration, it's law. Fuck the rules of the game. You stay in alignment to what's law for you. Obviously, we don't desire arrogance. Truth, absolutely. Virgo, the sacred ledger. The new moon and Libras in your second house of money, worth, sensuality, and energetic exchange are highlighted at this moment. Your value, your value must match your effort. This is going to what we were saying earlier in regards to what decision one should make when it comes to a job. Because when you are doing what reflects your value, you may be applying a certain level of effort that from the outside looking in, you may be overworking, but this is what you love to do and you can do this 25/8. But when you are, in a 9 to 5 and it doesn't fulfill you, this is when mind fog sets in. You have certain tasks you have to do, but you don't have the desire to fulfill it, or if you fulfill it, it's just half-assed. And unfortunately, certain companies are built with that level of energy, and it's just preposterous. Pluto is assisting in the evolution of your service or purpose path. Partnerships may carry illusions. See who truly reciprocates. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. Neptune is going to be in your house of partnerships. So wherever there's this sense of craving, stagnancy, confusion, that shit gotta go. If the energy doesn't feel light, literally, I'm seeing a whole room that's white, a plush bed, plush pillows, scent of linen, beautiful view, beautiful linen curtains just flying. It's the rising, the air is just right. And I'm seeing someone just come out of their bed and just enjoying life. If those relationships don't feel as calm and as serene as that description, that shit ain't for you. Especially Virgo. Make sure you keep that nervous system intact. Okay? Because for some, what's being shown to you has to do with a forbidden desire around security coming to the surface. Not to shame you, but to free you. So this could have something also to do with shared resources, 8th house energy, or debts that you have to confront with the partner, which makes the situation uncomfortable. Do not apologize for protecting your value, because some of you could be taking on the burden more than the other. There isn't a level of cohesiveness or reciprocity or aligned values, and it's time to check that. Your boundaries is sacred, Virgo. Daily devotion, rituals, amplify abundance. So you have to be very mindful as to what it is that you are devoting yourself to, because it's going to amplify abundance. It could be an abundance of stress or an abundance of bliss. It's your choice, love. Wisdom will be speaking in the numbers, the subtle and the unnoticed details. You are not a resource to be depleted, Virgo. Your worth is not a favor. That's a huge message right there. Your worth is not a favor. Anchoring your own value, beloved. Libra, the throne of truth. The new moon is in your sign. This is your personal reset. A new self-contract is being written. The square to Pluto. The old way of relating to the collective won't work anymore for you, Libra. Therefore, this is going to cause a massive shift when it comes to power dynamics. Neptune is asking for you to see spiritual clarity versus illusion. Trust your intuition, but don't drown in fantasy. Boundaries between self and others must be strengthened. Autonomy is sacred. The shadow feminine in your sign is fully awake. You can no longer be the peacemaker at your own expense. And boy, do y'all Libras, I love you, Libra, but y'all love to be diplomatic until you're not. I get it. Stand tall. Let your gaze hold the truth. Devotion returns to yourself first, Libra, then others. The mask of being nice must fall. Be kind, but nice, that's some bullshit. Okay? Remember that you are the scales, not the sword. Harmony begins when your truth stops whispering. Okay, Libra? Scorpio? The shadow crown. Felt that. That shit. The shadow crown for Scorpio. Lilith in your sign. The shadow feminine rises. So she's going to be even more powerful because we're entering Scorpio season. This is another reason why in the beginning of the live, the pace that it's going, that's the way the energy of Lilith moves. It's very observant. Just for you to see what you're not going to get away with the way you used to, playing it small. Okay? So, with Lilith in your sign, Scorpio, you are no longer hiding your power in the dark. So all that taboo stuff, bring it out. Stop hiding. New moon in Libra is in your 12th house. Refreshing you. So any subconscious contracts and spiritual patterns are dissolving. This is a purge and a rebirth cycle for you. And again, with Lilith in your sign, this is where the integration of one's darkness can help you through situations where you can be someone that people see as loving and kind, but they're used to misusing you or taking advantage. The moment you integrate that dark feminine within you, promise you that shit stops. I'm not saying that. It's more so the way that works. It's because you activated the energy. It creates this bubble or this veil that does what one can do with sigils, spell book, cauldrons. When you have that switch flipped on inside of you, that's all that matters. And for some, this is why there are certain situations or situationships that you encountered just to piss you off just enough to turn that shit on. Because you may have been letting shit slide for a little too long. Pluto's behind your words. Your ruling planet that's in Aquarius is behind your words. And your lineage is awakening. Neptune is bringing in spiritual downloads that may be intense. On top of the fact that Mars and Mercury is there too. Make sure you anchor yourself before you interpret any spiritual download you receive. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mars, Venus, everybody. Be sure to anchor yourself before you interpret your spiritual downloads. The anchoring, how does it feel to be anchored? Okay. It's similar to you having a great workout, a great sweat, and the moment you conclude that workout, you notice that stillness that you just have in your body where you just desire to just be still. That's a sensation of being anchored. These spiritual downloads, make sure you are in that frequency before you interpret them, Scorpio. Because the fact that Chiron and Eris is in your 6th house, this is another reason why you want to be very mindful of that. Because it's so simple for you at this moment to be triggered and want to interpret a spiritual download, and now you fucking with one of your chakras and closing yourself out from it. And now it's creating all of this dysfunction within the body that could have easily been prevented by anchoring yourself before going through spiritual downloads, interpreting a spiritual download. And that's for any area of life, really. Anchor yourself before you interpret what your next move is. Don't procrastinate. Procrastination and you interpreting to get to a decision, you're going to notice a difference. Simple as the procrastination is you not even making a decision. When you are actually interpreting something correctly, a decision is going to be made. A solution has to come up. Will come up. Okay? Medusa's giving you the essence of protection magic to be much stronger now. So you have to be very discerning and choosy when it comes to who has access to you. Because this energy is also going to carry the frequency of you being, in essence, a moth to a flame. Okay? Reason being, your deepest intuition speaks clearly. Now, you just have to trust it. And that is your key word, Scorpio. Trust. What you release now frees ancestral chains. What was once hidden becomes your throne. Your shadow is your crown. It's all been sitting. Your heaven on earth is as if the underworld is brewing on your crown. Literally brewing on your crown. Bring that full essence of what the underworld means to you, which has to do with death and rebirth, which also means that there could no longer be a fear of being unalive. Strong shaman energy coming through here now, where you literally go through that experience of showing up on the other side and coming back. So some of you do this quite often anyway. But the true essence of what it is that you're doing, you haven't fully turned the key yet. But it's turning on now. Okay. Sagittarius, the arrow reforged. The new moon in Libra is in your 11th house of community, networks, social relationships, and collective dreams. all being rewoven. Talking to yourself. That's what I'm here for. Pluto. Beliefs, mission, and calling are restructuring for you. Sun, Moon, Rising, Mars, Venus, wherever you have Sagittarius. Neptune, through the fog, is assisting you to check illusions in your home or base. Root your vision, Sagittarius. Pay attention to your dreams, your visions, because it is literally giving you your bread and butter, your 100K daily deposit in your bank account, because it's an idea or a vision that is only going to be given to you to assist the collective with their networks and their dreams. Okay? So root your vision. Give your vision something to stand on. Right? It's time for you to be your own muse, Sagittarius. So this is creativity versus collective belonging tension that you could be experiencing. The key to unlock that tension, to release that tension, is to be your own muse. So you giving your visions a root or base to stand on is you just enjoying and experiencing how wild your imagination is. Okay. Shadow dynamics in groups come to the surface. Make sure you gaze forward without letting others dictate your narrative. There's a sacred cause that is calling you now, Sagittarius. You have no more time to waste. Not every group can hold your fire. So this is why shadow dynamics in groups are going to come to the surface. Some of you are literally initiators of others' shadows. Not some. Sagittarius, you are literally the initiator of others' shadows. Okay. It's time to transform and transcend what family or tribe means to you. This is basically what is traditional. You are creating your own, and it's because of that, it's quite unconventional for you to do so. But only you have that ability. Wherever you have Sagittarius in your chart. Not every crowd is your village, Sagittarius. Aim your arrow at truth, not popularity. And as a fellow Sag, I'm going to always show you that mirror. And this is why I always tell y'all, it's not about the quantity, the quantity over there. It's quality. That's why that block button is quite swift. Yeah, 9922. We're going to bring an end to a whole bunch of shit and build solid foundations coming from a life path 22. We ain't here to play that shit. Fuck you thought this was. Capricorn. The pillars tremble. Well, shit then. Pluto in Aquarius is bringing a transformation in your sense of identity and security, Capricorn. The new moon in Libra in your 10th house of career, purpose, legacy is bringing a rebalancing of power dynamics around visibility and leadership. Okay. Neptune is going to bring a fog around communication or contracts to be cleared. This is the moment for you, Capricorn, of your private life versus your calling. The way for you to heal, to answer your calling, is to claim your own authority. Boss up, Capricorn. Y'all do that well when you are aware. Okay? Sagittarius moon. Talk about it. Soul of a Sag as a moon. Shadow truths around ambition, control, or family expectations rise. So for some Capricorns, the reason why you possibly haven't fully tapped into your power is because you have dishonored your own authority. This could possibly be by playing the role of the victim for a little too long instead of using it as a tool. Experiencing that you're going through life with the victim mentality, but also seeing what experiences you were having that had you feeling as the victim, as that is where you are to grab your cojones, step into your authority, and change that dynamic and change that reality, change that experience. So anyone after you, Capricorn, has to do with generations, doesn't have to experience that. It's on some, if you don't fix it, it's your fault. You the ancestor they gonna blame. I'm just letting you know. Your power isn't external, Capricorn. It emanates from your backbone. Boss up, Cappy. Especially as you are stepping into a much higher leadership role. Know that leadership doesn't conquer, it anchors. Everyone should feel secure, rooted, balanced, not sensing any type of burden because you're a leader, the leader. You either shouldn't be feeling burdened. Because when you're anchored, you're not easily swayed by another's interpretation about what to do, and now this is creating a mental conflict. Unnecessary. Old status stories must end. Capricorn, your message is you are not your title. You are the mountain beneath it. Shit standing on a mountain. Yeah, because you're supposed to give everyone a higher perspective. If your leadership ability, duty, is the foundation as a mountain, anybody that goes on top of that mountain should be able to breathe and have a different view. It shouldn't be an obstacle. You are the mountain, which means you move yourself. You the mountain that moves itself. So get the moving. Aquarius, the lightning pack. Okay. Pluto in your sign. This is your personal underworld initiation. Power is rewriting your identity. So your identity of who you thought you were is going to be stripped away so you can be who you truly are. That's what Pluto does. It strips you from your power for you to actually see what your power is. Hades and Persephone, he told Shorty, you ain't supposed to be out there all the time in the spring and thinking it's all peaches and cream and sunshine and rainbow. No, bring your ass the fuck down here. Come to the dungeon so you can see what you really made of. Big shit. That's you, Aquarius. And this stripping away of power, it doesn't have, they may not even be brutal. Because the reason why, as an Aquarius, you're already going to know. You already have an idea. The shit just got to line up. You know? And it does. And it is. The new moon in Libra is in your 9th house of faith, vision, and belief systems that are being rewritten. What you thought you knew is expanding. This should be fun. This should be fun. Shout out to the Aquariuses. Y'all would have plenty of fun over this way on this channel. Okay. 909, 2109. Don't outsource your gnosis. Your knowing. Don't outsource it. Because the fog that this Neptunian energy is bringing, it's causing the vibe of your spiritual truth versus collective glamour. So your truth communication is going to require a radical level of authenticity right now. So taboo truths around what you believe come to light because it's what you know. Your gaze or the way you view things is and supposed to challenge systems. You're literally the essence of the Tower card. The Tower moment is an unveiling of a truth. Taking the rug from up under one's feet to get shit moving in the appropriate and proper direction. This is the moment for you to have devotion to your unique path. Don't apologize for leading the way you do. And as an Aquarius, I'm really sure y'all don't really do that apologizing type of stuff for real. Some ideologies must fall before your true temple is built. Your message, Aquarius, revolution begins with what you believe and know, and silence. More of what you know, because Pisces says I believe or connects to belief, while you, Aquarius, is more of a knowing. So your revolution begins when what you know in silence, you tap into it, you lock in. When did you ever see lightning ask for permission? Imagine lightning cannot. That shit just be out there. Don't act. Listen. Y'all be out here playing this shit. Nah, y'all don't. Y'all don't. I ain't taking it back, but y'all don't be playing. Y'all don't take shit back. I said what I said. Pisces, the veil keeper. Yeah. Them dark goddesses was flowing all through that message in the beginning. Shit. Pisces, the veil keeper. Neptune at 29 degrees in your sign. To you ruled by Neptune. Your ancient ruler is Jupiter, though. You are sitting at the edge of an era, Pisces. There is no veil, actually. You're the one that decides whether the veil is here or not. Anyway, your intuition is your compass, but clarity is your anchor. Clear, precise vision from the intuition. The new moon in Libra is in the 8th house. Well, shit. It's the house of Scorpio. Y'all on one. Shared resources, energetic entanglements, and soul contracts. 8th house. Something karmic unravels or renews. Now, this the type of shit we gonna tap into right after this for the collective, because this is the unseen realms anyway. But with Pluto and Aquarius for Pisces, any unseen power dynamics in communities and friendships come to the surface. So y'all may be chucking a deuce on a few people, okay? Because any type of self-worth themes tied to your resources get louder. This is the vibe of having a glow up and then really seeing the way people move when you have to tell them no. You know, you're most welcome, beloved. You feel your big 3 season for listen to your Mars and your Venus as well. Get the full shot. Your power is no longer meant to be invisible. Ah, shit. Protect your energy fiercely, Pisces. Your spiritual flame must serve your path, not drain for others. Let go of inherited energetic debts. Your message, Pisces, for this new moon in Libra, you are the veil and the one who parts it. Exactly. Own the power of seeing. So now, 11151. Here's what I'm going to tell y'all as the collective real quick. If you're around a Pisces and you don't want something to be known, this ain't the time. This may not even be the rest of the lifetime to be around a Pisces if you don't want shit revealed. Or whichever house you have Pisces in, or whichever house is ruled by Pisces for you, that area of your life is where a lot that has been unseen in power dynamics will no longer be unseen. What does this mean for the collective? Disruption. You telling me? There goes Aquarius too. Well, Aquarius over here knowing what that they usually know and not asking for permission about what they know. With Pisces over here no longer hiding what's unseen. Listen, y'all all got this energy within y'all. You just have to know which house it governs for you. That'll show you where this shit is at. It'll show you where it is. So the disruption here could have to do with an emotional loss, 5 of Cups. This is Mars and Scorpio. So the disruption has to do with some level of communication that may feel as though it's coming out of the blue, but this shit is going to be, it's not going to be an ordinary conversation. This could even be where, okay, let's say this has to do with the partnership, and there's a certain way you have yet to truly express who you are to someone that is near and dear to you. 111414. Now this conversation comes up. Let's say you haven't seen this person in a while. When something is fated, for some, there's a fated situation that's happening or will happening, still happening. The gap is closing. The distance or the time between the two, the gap is closing. For some of you, this conversation or this experience happens in a dream. This could even be a new spirit guide that you're connecting to, a very powerful spirit guide that you're connecting to. Now I'm picking up Scorpio energy. The spiritual download that could be intense, that you want to make sure you ground yourself before you interpret it. strategy. Ooh, whoa. I just got chills right here. Aries, because this is the head. Wow. 2119. 21 is the world card. 19 is the sun card. So, because it's giving the energy of somebody on their fame. You may not even desire fame, but what you're capable of places you there. Also, because it's not something you desire, or maybe you are, you're just not fiending for it. You understand the process. And because now you fully integrated the embodiment of understanding the process, here you have this spirit guide or another angle of light or angel that now is assigned to this next cycle where all this prosperity and abundance comes through, abundance of prosperity comes through. Interesting. Yep. The magician, awareness. Now, hold on. So, this here download, and speaking of a spirit guide, this could be someone's ancestor or family member that you've never met, and it may come through as a spirit guide that you feel as though you don't know. This is actually a family member of yours that's making you aware of why there was so many disruptions, but they were actually revelations that you were having. What is going on? Having. Revelations, prophetic dreams, visions, awareness. Wow. And in matters of love, this is why it's been so rocky and unstable. Because there's an energy that is precisely for you. 2121. You both have the same purpose, or some, not the same, the purpose aligns. There's a reciprocity between each party's purpose. You both went through similar cycles within your own energies. This also aligns with other partnerships and alliances you'll be connecting with. Sun and Aries is showing up here with the Three of Wands. This could also have to do with, instead of something coming towards you, an opportunity, go towards the opportunity. So this is an opportunity you're creating through all this turmoil, but more so the gift that you experience by going through this. What's behind this? Yes. Patience and planning. You've been patient throughout this entire process. This is why forgiveness for you is important, because if people were to feel a millisecond of just the surface of what you feel going through these experiences, they'd have been checked out. And I said a millisecond of the surface. So that's how deep your transformation has been. Venus and Scorpio we have here. Venus and Scorpio and Venus and Cancer are both here with the Seven of Cups and the Two of Cups. Yeah, I'm telling you. Because a lot of this heartache and loss has to do with the way you express yourself, being able to process your thoughts coherently, mind and heart. Experience the darkest of the darkest, because what's wild right now is the way an essence of a shadow was descending on the top of this card here. Your voice is powerful. Look at that. Yeah, that's the angel then. Could be a Leo, Regulus energy. You were pruned to lead from the heart, because Regulus connects to fame as well. 29 degrees, generational wealth. Look at that shit. This shit universal for you. 3, 2, 1, descending. What is this descending here for the collective? Show me. What is descending here? Ooh. What you've been waiting on. I'm getting a lot of shit happening here. Mars and Aries. Okay. This has to do with who you are, the I am. Okay. The highest version of you. What's descending is the highest version of you. 3212. The Hierophant. 512. Sacrifice. You've gone through a lot of sacrifice for this level. You're no longer apologizing for being the version that you are. Again, that Aquarius vibes, not, you know, asking for permission to be who you are. Lightning. Making a pact with lightning. The pact has to do with not asking for permission to be who or what one is. The waiting game. And then movement, choices, and decisions. 22. Jupiter in Capricorn, Mars in Aries. Wow. This is some powerful shit right now. Okay. Yeah, you've gone through a lot. Yeah, you've gone through. Look at this shit here. Chiron, key. The key was the heartache and the loss. The sword. Your perception. Mental health. Some of you may want to do some self-study of psychology, or you may have studied psychology. You're seeing the deeper purpose as to why. Wait. What is this about a jinn? Each step of the way you are being shown how not to keep the lineage trapped energetically. Yeah, you're the 44. You're the one that brings balance back to the foundation. This is your inheritance. The healing of your heart. Your inheritance is the healing of the heart, which is equivalent to a massive level of abundance financially, spiritually. Yes. Now I'm getting Solomon energy when I looked at this hand. That's where the jinn thing coming from too. You could be working with Solomon seals or something about the Songs of Solomon. The Songs of Solomon is basically the verbiage of the connection between the pineal and the pituitary gland, the land of milk and honey. The songs of the land of milk and honey. Yeah. Go towards that. But here with the Chariot, precise movement forward. 928, that's Libra. Precise movement forward. Away from detachments. What the fuck? Detachments. Chill. That's hilarious. Somebody could speak that way. That's the precise move, to detach yourself from that energy. Detachments. Okay, so the way I'm now hearing that, you may have been constantly mocked growing up for the level of awareness you have. But in connection to your soul, you understand the deeper meaning of that. So that when you take off and make this precise movement, choice, and decision on what you've been waiting on while playing this other game that they ain't got nothing to do with you, well, in terms of staying there longer than you have to. This situation, the way you grew up or the way you were pruned or trained, is because now when you step into your full-on purpose, your mission, when someone a stranger or anyone out there attempts to do that, you've seen it all. Type of situation, you've seen it all. It doesn't surprise you. It just doesn't surprise you. Yeah, it's on some, okay, been there, done that. Discontent and bored. Next. Moon and Cancer energy. So this, yeah, certainly your triumph, what had to do with the way you grew up, your home, your family. Oh, yeah. And then we have the Ace of Wands, the reawakening. You've been awakened before. Many times. It's just now this time, because of all the training through experiences that you've had, this is why you won't be moving forward asking for permission, whether it's something you verbally state or energetically. You have the moon, the shadow, and it's time to get to it with the Eight of Pentacles. This is going to have you moving forward. 188. And that was the message there that we have here for Scorpio. I mean, Scorpio significant too. Virgo, your worth is not a favor. Anchoring in your own value. Being more conscientious of when it comes to your emotions, which is giving you quite a bit of information as it relates to your subconscious with the moon. And speaking of meeting a new spirit guide, that's the vibes right there. To go towards this new dawn, this new cycle. The reawakened cycle. So with this being the sun in Virgo, we got the moon here. That was the 2 new moons energy. You may want to go back to those messages. Wow, Archangel Shamuel, solar plexus, and the magician in the mirror. Back to the mirrors absorbing the past version of you. And it's as if what the mirror's absorbing is taking it back to source to be purified for the true cycle. Interesting. What's this about? We got moving on. Okay. It's awesome. That sounds all great and dandy. Some of y'all about to get called out right now, where the information resonates, but actions are not going to be taken appropriately. You might as well click off now. I'm giving you a few seconds to click off. I'm giving you a couple seconds to click off now. Whoever is not prepared to take action and be bold, you may now exit. As I'm literally waiting patiently. Okay. All right. Okay. And do not take that as a joke either. It's not a joke right now. Or ever. Because with the mirror being shown to you, and it's absorbing the version of you that no longer serves you, to go through its wash cycle, purification cycle, and you leave up on out of here without taking action, and the action doesn't have to be grand either. It's just taking that one step that you may have been procrastinating on. All right, let's continue. Let's continue. Yo. Root chakra. Saturn. That was what planetary hour was this right now? Well, let me see. What is Mars. On a Mars day, which has to do with Archangel Michael, which cuts things at the root. You have no thing to go back to. I mean, the fact that whoever this energy is that's being picked up on now, or this could be an energy around you, where the action for you is to love them from a distance, not taking heed. Because you got storm warning that showed up, which is a 10, and clarifying, moving on in reverse has to do with the root chakra. This is something, what's this? Patience. Which was what we was over here doing, patiently waiting. With the heart chakra as the hidden theme. Unable to move to and through experiences of love because of being stuck, patiently waiting, misusing one's time, building on a foundation that cannot be rebuilt. It's shattered glass. You can't glue it back together, per se. (9:38). Just saw an orb that rose up right here and paused. Something about new to the family. It's not a baby. So there's something that's being exposed, a secret that's being revealed, which would change the complete dynamic of where someone wasn't moving on from a situation because they didn't know this particular detail of what occurred to someone between 0 and 7, 0 to 14. Source, the letter S, L, P. Someone has a Saturn in Leo. One second, I'm gonna see. August 2nd, 1946 to September 19th, 1948. April 2nd, 1949 to May 29th, 1949. September 16th, 1975 to January 14th, 1976. June 5th, 1976 to November 16th, 1977. January 4th, 1978 to July 26th, 1978. These dates are that way because of direct retro. So, okay. July 16th, 2005 to September 2nd, 2007. And then the next time it'll be in Leo is August 26th, 2034 to February 15th, 2035. But that date is significant. That range, August 26th to February 15th, was the strongest one I picked up on just now. May 11th to October 16th, which is after that. Okay. Discipline and self-expression. This is probably why somebody hasn't said anything. This could be someone who has Saturn in Leo, or someone who was a test to someone with Saturn in Leo, where the test is having to do with the path of ego refinement, to shine not for attention but for soul expression, carrying the responsibility of visibility and inspiring others through sovereign example. There's something about someone wasn't a sovereign example that this could be something you have to let go. The moon could be someone from your mother's side. If this, okay. If this has to do with someone's, okay, this, you may think your mother doesn't know, but she knows. She probably dreamt of it, but there wasn't a discussion about it yet. She knows. She knows. No, she knows. No, she knows. Is he? Wait a minute. Bad things happen to people you love, and you find yourself praying up to heaven above. But honestly, I never had much sympathy because those bad things, I always saw them coming for me. That's crazy work. That's J. Cole's song, the intro. This caused somebody to run away when they were younger, or had that feeling to do so. Damned if you, damned if you don't. Let's say this is a relationship. Going back to what we was expressing before, where something wasn't fully communicated, and that conversation comes about now. That Mars in Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio, that level of deep conversation comes up, which will help someone make the proper decision moving forward. Just don't play yourself. You know what I'm saying? When you express something to someone from the depths of you, from the way you see it, as far as not with the goal for them to understand you per se, but for them to understand what it is that they're who they're with, or what it is that they're involved in, so each side can make the best decision for themselves. This will now create, a conversation that is effective, productive, which now can help that partnership move forward. If not productive, obviously, someone could choose from an unhealed version of themselves to stay in that situation, which is not advisable, right? Healing the division, breach between the body, mind, spirit, soul with herbs, magic, divination, crystals, prayer, affirmations. That's what I was looking for. Forgot his birthday. I don't recall. And forget. I don't recall because we ain't forget shit. Oh. He's a Capricorn. Is he? No. I'm tripping. Aquarius. First deacon Aquarius at that. 5 of Swords. For some of you, this is giving you your power to write your music. Something could be getting exposed in music, a truth. And then we have Saturn in Cancer. Emotional responsibility. Someone grew up too fast. Whatever resentment you're holding on to, because of that, you gotta let that go. This is why you may be having or experiencing um, financial issues with the root chakra. You hold the womb of time. You know, the best way to come to a solution of a problem is to have a deep understanding of the problem. So when it comes to your bloodline, your sacred family, these experiences that have to do with lessons of compassion, you may have experience for that particular reason. So you can truly see what the best solution is. As a Saturn in Cancer, your task is to build homes of belonging, both literal and emotional, because you do have a very deep gift. It is deep and karmic compassion. As a Saturn in Cancer, you're the ancestral architect. So, moving forward, we got that cleared. Okay. Got that cleared. Now you can step into your authority. Bada bing, bada boom. Yep. And love. All right. 449. Yes. Ooh, 44994. Whatever this is that we just processed just now, whoever that resonated for, that you've been this here suffering in silence. Or suffering in arguments, getting people to understand you, playing that victim role, stop. I get it. Shit might have been brutal. It was rough. I'm not saying you ain't go through anything. However, grow from that. Okay? Because another thing, this here channel that I facilitate for the collective, sometimes you do go through experiences of what you put others through, and you came back into this reality to experience it just the same, or if not worse. So somebody can stop the bullshit. Because we're not going to be doing that. They did this and they did that. What'd you do? What you did was continue to react to the situation. Again, I'm not coming at you. I'm just... This is the level of self-reflection that even for self, I had to do. I can sit here all fucking day and say, but why the fuck they didn't do this, or why did they do that, or why did they do this? Fuck all that. I'm going to use that energy now. And I'm become the best version of myself. The same version that I may have wanted to, or that I desired to experience as I was going through my evolution. I'm going to become that for others. Because you go through just that to see what you are not going to do. You know what I'm saying? If you only knew. Wait, you do? Let me tell you something. Let's put it this way. Part of being someone who assists someone through their breakthroughs, their deaths and rebirths. Oh, that test is you go through experiences, just but it's not to sit here and say that, oh, but I went through this, so someone should see why I moved the way I moved, because you're only going to be debilitating yourself, especially those moves that you're making are not for the greatest purpose of your mission and yourself. You're just being a disservice to yourself. At some point, you have to pull away from that. There's a reason why they don't actually teach astrology in elementary and junior high and all this the other things. Because you know how quickly people would get to the point of recognizing why they experience what they experience? There wouldn't be a lot of systems that are in play fucking with people's health playing this game right now. That's why this age of Aquarius, which has to do with the people having their power back, is you, each one within the collective, taking your power back with all that information and knowledge that is out there. But you can't attain that power if you don't apply that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So everybody go through shit. But it's those who choose to alchemize and transcend that come out on top. Check in with yourself. When you really, you know, go through that shadow work. Because that's part of the way my sessions are. Ancient, so I ain't old, baby. The way my sessions are is to get you to and through your shadow work, and that could be within one session. But that's only if you bold enough. Because that shit should not be a lifelong process. Because one is so quick to constantly complain and go through this daily bout with themselves about what has been done to them. Energy itself, you don't have to do anything back towards someone, but it carries the same frequency when you're sitting there wrapped up in fetus position in this victim mentality. That shit is just as good as what someone would do if they're in fear. The energy, the root of it is fear or shame or guilt. The way it plays out, it's different for everybody. But the point is, stop feeling sorry for yourself. That's why when people come up in here on the comments and saying that they're going through this and this ain't the channel for that. This is also an example of loving people from a distance. And that's just respect, honestly. Dropping burdens on people just because you feel as though you can, because you got a mouth and fingers to be typing shit. Not saying that I can't carry it, but I just choose the fuck not to. And I advise everyone not to carry someone else's burden. You could be of assistance. When you walk up to this house over here, you got to move accordingly. Because yes, I could be caring and nurturing, but I'm not going to baby you to the point that it's debilitating. Where it's just another space where you feel as though you want to vent. You going to have to, even if you pay, I won't even let you pay me to vent. You got your own ventilation system. But this is why I say, I ain't for everybody. You heard the message from Sagittarius. Is literally, this is the way this channel is. But this new moon in Libra just packing a punch, you know? Everybody can't drink bitters. So if this tea ain't your flavor, honey, there's another shop along the way that soothes you. You know? Ain't nothing but, listen, it's all love. It's all love. That's another reason why the movements are the way that they are over this way. It's all love. When you sitting there being sorry for yourself in this martyrdom syndrome, listen, people that have been on here on this channel, I would say from 2018, y'all seen the journey too. I went through my phase on some fuck everybody. I mean, it's still that way, honestly, but it's from a different. Fuck everybody that want to sit there and, you know what I'm saying? You want to pay that pity party? All right, when you done, come check me. And let somebody say, but what if someone transitions and you didn't? Let me tell you something. I'm going to see them. I'm going to be the one that's helping them cross over. We will certainly have a much better conversation on that side. So what's up? I ain't going to say I ain't the one. I'm that one. I am she. Okay? You gonna get this revelation. You gonna step into your purpose and be the greatest version of yourself and beyond that. If that's not what you're here for, bounce. Skedaddle. Get the fuck up on out of here. Okay? Again, I still love you, but from a distance. You know what I mean? If you don't, that's okay. Shit. I'm happy doing that. Wait down. Okay. See what I'm saying? Triumph. Woman holding the heart. What's this? Waiting in here. What you waiting on? Universe said, come on. Come on. Then the disruption is on your ass. 2200 on the... I'm here to disrupt whatever the fuck y'all got going on out there. Okay? This is why when that warrior comes out, it's not necessarily towards your vessel. It's the shit that you got around you. For some of you, it is directly towards you. However you desire to take it on, that is up to you. I'm just doing what I came here to do for this planet. Cause she ain't playing with y'all either. You know, fucked up. But the way that shit turns out, when the planet ain't fucking with you for real, people might say, "Oh, she wild." No, this is some real shit. You'll get an idea or go somewhere, and boom, natural disaster. Cause you playing too much. Okay. Don't be the waters is lit. Alright. Nothing to fear though. Y'all good money. I'm just saying. Shit. The way my dream realm is set up. You having to block some shit. I'm like, who the fuck was here? Oh, you? I ain't doing that shit again. Next time that shit gonna be all up on your rooftop. Gone. Keep playing. Once again, I got Sun and Mercury in Sag with a Mars in Aries and a Venus in Scorpio. It is up to you to determine where my care level is. Okay? I love unconditionally. But I do not care the way you won't be feeling sorry for yourself. When you really don't have to. You don't have to. You choose to. So be mindful of your choices. And with that, my loves, los quiero mucho. I adore you all. Have a blissful evening. See you in the next life.